If you're struggling to get started with working out, or you have parents or friends who would like to work out but they don't really know where to start, then this video is for you. I've tried to make this as simple as possible, following the medical guidelines for the minimum exercise recommendations for health. Doing these workouts every week is going to make you stronger, you're going to build muscle, improve your heart health, and it's going to help you lose fat. Maybe you think you don't have enough time to work out, but hopefully I can convince you otherwise with this video. I'll clear up any confusion you might have around working out and make it nice and simple. So here's the weekly routine. You want to resistance train 2 times per week. That means lifting weights or doing bodyweight strength exercises like push-ups, and then do cardio for a total of 75 minutes if you're doing high intensity cardio, or 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio. So let's go into each of these in detail. Starting with resistance training 2 times per week. In each of your 2 resistance training workouts, you need to hit these 7 major movement patterns or exercises: the squat, the hip hinge, the horizontal press, the horizontal pull, the vertical press, the vertical pull, and a unilateral leg movement. And if you have time, then you can do some ab exercises as well. This shouldn't take you too long, certainly no more than an hour, and if you're fairly quick, you can do it in like 30 to 45 minutes. So let me explain each movement pattern in a bit more detail. Starting with the squat. This targets your quad muscles mostly on the front of your thighs. You can start with just bodyweight squats and then move on to goblet squats with a dumbbell or a kettlebell, and then barbell squats or leg press. So you want to squat down as deeply as you comfortably can, keeping your feet flat on the floor, and then use your thighs to push yourself back up to standing. Try to keep your chest up pretty high, so not leaning forward too much, not rounding your spine a whole bunch, and keep your core tight. With all of these exercises, you want to make sure that your core is solid so that you're not like unstable. The next movement is the hip hinge, and this targets your hamstrings on the back of your thighs, your glutes, and your lower back. So you're hinging at the hip. You want to start with dumbbells or just an empty barbell, and you keep your legs mostly straight with a slight bend in the knees, keeping your back also mostly straight, keeping your core engaged like I mentioned earlier, and you bend at the hip to lower the weight down towards the ground, and you should feel a stretch on the backs of your thighs as you're doing this. And then once you've gone down as far as you comfortably can, and you stand back upright again, reversing the movement that you just did. The next movement is the horizontal press. This means pressing your arms out forward in front of you, and it mostly targets your chest muscles, your triceps on the backs of your arms, and the front of your shoulders. So the horizontal press I recommend for most people is doing push-ups. So you can start with wall push-ups, and then on a counter like a kitchen counter, and then a lower surface like a sofa, then on the floor with your knees, and then full push-ups on the floor. So if you're like a complete beginner and not very strong yet, you start with wall push-ups, then you go through these progressions as you get stronger. Don't flare your elbows way out to the side. You want to keep them at about a 45-degree angle relative to your torso. And other than push-ups, you can also do bench press with barbell or dumbbells, and machine chest press, or a dip. The next movement is a horizontal pull. So this is pulling the weight towards you with your arms out in front of you, and this targets your upper back muscles and your biceps. And the horizontal pull is most commonly called a row, and there are lots of different types of rows that you can do. I would recommend a seated cable row, a seated machine row, or a bent over barbell row. And the key with this is to drive your elbows behind your body and squeeze your shoulder blades together. After this is a vertical press, which targets your shoulders and your triceps. So this involves pushing dumbbells or a barbell overhead using your shoulder muscles. Try not to bend your spine backwards too much, and like usual, keep your core and your legs tight and solid. And you can also use a machine shoulder press for this movement. Then there's a vertical pull, which targets your lat muscles on your back and also your biceps. So you're pulling down with your arms overhead. You can either do pull-ups or a lat pull-down machine here. If you haven't got your first pull-up yet, then you can do negative pull-ups, which is where you jump up to the top position, grab the bar, and lower yourself down as slowly as you can. And you should also do some isometric holds, holding yourself at the top position, the middle, and the bottom position for like 3 to 5 seconds each. And these will build up the strength that you need to get your first actual pull-up. I would definitely recommend learning to do pull-ups, but you can do lat pull-downs instead if you want to. And with both pull-ups and pull-downs, you should focus on driving your shoulder blades down first to initiate the movement, and then pulling your elbows down after. And this makes sure that you're targeting the right muscles and you're not letting your biceps take over, because you want your back to be doing most of the work. And lastly, there's a unilateral leg movement, and the easiest one to do is lunges. And these target your quads, your hamstrings, and your glutes. So start with just bodyweight lunges, and then you can move on to holding a dumbbell in each hand. I like to do walking lunges where you step forward into a lunge with one leg, and then you step forward with the other leg, walking back and forth through whatever space you have. So that's the 7 exercises that you need to know about. For each of those exercises, you want to do 2 to 4 main sets, 2 if you're short on time. A set is 1 round of exercise repetitions. So you pick up the weight, you do like 10 repetitions, for example, and then you put the weight down, and that's 1 set. Then you rest for a bit and you do another set, and so on. Before your main sets, make sure you do like 1 to 3 warm-up sets with lighter weights, gradually getting heavier as you're approaching your heavier main sets. You don't want to jump straight into the heavy weights without any warm-up. So you might do 2 warm-up sets to get yourself prepared, and then 2 main heavy sets. In each of those sets, you should do 5 to 10 repetitions, and between each set, you rest 2 minutes. So to summarize, here's what a strength training workout should look like for you. You start with 5 to 10 minutes of a general warm-up, like jogging on the treadmill or riding an exercise bike. Then a quick dynamic warm-up, doing dead bugs, 10 reps per side, bird dogs, 10 reps per side, and 10 reps of goblet squats. And then you do a squat, either like bodyweight squats or goblet squats, barbell squats, whatever stage you're at. You do that for 2 sets of 5 to 10 reps. And then a hinge, same sets and reps, horizontal press, horizontal pull, vertical press, vertical pull, and lunge. This shouldn't take you any longer than an hour, probably more like 45 minutes. Now you might be thinking, okay, what weights am I meant to be using for these exercises? I would start with pretty much as little weight as you can. So like just the barbell if you're doing barbell variations, or just very light dumbbells if you're using dumbbells. You want to spend a lot of time practicing the technique before you start using heavy weight. So you can slowly add a little bit of weight each session, but don't rush into heavy weights until your exercise form is good. Watch tutorials on YouTube to see how to perform each exercise correctly, or ask one of the staff at your gym or another strong looking person at the gym. And just a final note, make sure you keep learning, right? Don't assume that you know everything by now and you understand everything. Keep refining your technique and learning more from people who know what they're talking about. The cardio recommendations that most doctors and medical organizations will give are 75 minutes of high intensity cardio or 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio. High intensity is things like running, swimming, quite intense cycling, gymnastics, martial arts, walking upstairs. These are things that'll probably get you out of breath and have your heart beating pretty hard. And moderate intensity is things like fast walking, a casual bike ride, hiking, and playing doubles tennis. I would call these pretty low intensity. You're not really getting out of breath or pushing your physical limits much. I'd recommend you do a mix of these 2 kinds of cardio. So you could do 25 minutes of running once per week, and then 30 to 40 minutes of fast walking, riding an exercise bike, or hiking 3 times per week. So that makes 4 cardio sessions each week, 1 higher intensity and 3 low to moderate intensity. And if the mixing of different types of cardio confuses you, then you can just do 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise split into 5 30-minute sessions, or 75 minutes of high intensity exercise split into 3 25-minute sessions. On top of these, I would also recommend trying to walk at least 7,000 steps per day. 10,000 is ideal, but that's quite a lot of walking to do in one day. It's quite ambitious, but I think most people can get in 7,000 steps a day. So let's summarize. You're going to be lifting weights 2 days per week, doing 75 minutes of high intensity cardio or 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio, and then walking 7,000 steps every day. And that's it. If you do these things, you're going to be in very good shape pretty soon. Unfortunately, most people don't hit these minimums of exercise and their health suffers because of it. This isn't a massive time and energy investment. Most people should be able to fit these in to their routine. Maybe it takes 30 minutes to 1 hour a day of your time to get these workouts in, and then a bit of walking each day. And if you're sleeping 7+ hours a night and you're eating healthy, you're pretty much going to be a paragon of health, at least compared to the average population. If you found this helpful and you'd like a more in-depth exploration, you can check out my 3-day per week workout program if you can dedicate 3 days each week to lifting weights, or one of my super in-depth physique programs with many workout programs to choose from and a full explanation of muscle building, making progress, etc. Thank you for watching. If your parents or your friends want to start working out but they don't really know what to do, show them this video and hopefully it will break it down well enough for them. This video is going to be most useful if you already have the motivation and the intention to start working out and you have a gym membership or some equipment already. Creating the motivation or the desire to work out is a different problem entirely and one for another video. Okay, thanks again for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon and leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time.